Welcome to OG's Wealth of Math. In this video, we want to solve trinomial by completing the square. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, you can do that, share my link, make comment on my video, click on the notification bell, share your views. Thank you. Now, if you look at the two problems we have on the board, they are both trinomial because they have three terms. Now, the first one has a leading coefficient of 1. The second trinomial has a leading coefficient of 4. Now, we want to solve by a method of completing the square. Now, if we want to solve the first problem, the first step is that we need to subtract both sides of the equation by the coefficient of the third term. This is the first, second, and third term. Because the coefficient of the third term, we have a positive 6. So we want this 6 to go to the other side of the equation. So what we need to do is to subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. If we do that, our new expression becomes x squared minus 7x equal negative 6. That's the first step. Now, the second step is that we need to, because the leading coefficient is 1, we don't have to divide through by 1, right? We'll skip that step, move to the next step. The next step is that we'll look at the middle coefficient. The middle coefficient is negative 7x. Now, we are going to divide the middle coefficient by half. We'll square it and add it to both sides. Or, alternatively, you can multiply the middle coefficient by 1/2. You square it and then you add it to both sides. You still get the same thing. So, the middle coefficient is negative 7. So, if we divide it by 2, and then we square this, and then we are going to add this to both sides of the equation. If we do that, our new expression becomes x squared minus 7x plus minus 7 over 2 all squared equals negative 6 plus negative 7/2 all squared. Now, the next step is that we're going to tidy up this. We're going to neglect this. Then we'll tidy up this. So, because this has x squared and this has square and square. So, I'm going to have x minus 7/2 all squared equal minus 6 plus minus 7 squared will give me 49 over 4. Now, I want to ensure that this and this have a common denominator. Now, this is, let me assume this is over 1 because minus 6 divided by 1 will give me minus 6. Now, because I want them to have a common denominator, I want this denominator to also be 4. So it means I'll multiply this by 4 and I'll multiply this by 4. If I do that, my new expression here will be minus 6 times 4 will be minus 24 over 4 plus 49 over 4. So this is x minus 7/2 all squared. Now, what am I going to do? They have a common denominator. So I'll do 49 minus 25, which will give my 49 minus 24 will give me 25. So I have 25 over 4, and I have x minus 7/2 all squared. Now, I want to find the value of x. So what I need to do is to find the square root of both sides. So this square will cancel the root. So my x minus 7/2 will be equals to, now the square root of this will be plus or minus. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 4 is 2, right? Now, the next thing we are going to do is to add 7 over 2 to both sides of the equation. We want to find the value of x. So if we do that, minus 7 over 2 plus 7 over 2 will give me 0. So x will be, so here I have plus 5 over 2 plus 7 over 2, or minus 5 over 2 plus 7 over 2. So this will give me, x values will be, I'm going to add this, 5 plus 7 will be 12 over 2, which will give me 6. And this one will be 7 minus 5 is 2 over 2, which will give me 1. So my x value are 6 and x equals 1. Now let's solve the next problem. Now for this, the first step is to add 3 to both sides of the equation. Now my new expression becomes x squared plus x equals 3. Now this has a leading coefficient of 4, a number greater than 1. So I can divide through by 4. 4 cancel 4. So x squared will be 1/4 x equals 3/4. Now the next step is that I need to, the middle coefficient, I need to divide the middle coefficient by 2, or I multiply it by 1/2. I'll square it if I have 1/8 all squared. Then I'm going to add it to both sides of the equation. So my new expression becomes x squared plus 1/4x. So I'm adding this to this side, which is plus 1/8 all squared, equal, I have 3/4 plus then 1/8 all squared. All right. Now the next thing, I'm going to tidy up my equation by combining this. So I have x plus 1/8 all squared equal, I'll neglect this, equals 3/4 plus 1 square will be 1, 8 square will be 64. Now the next thing I want to do now is I want both of them to have a common denominator of 64. So I can multiply this by 16 and multiply this by 16. If I do that, 3 times 16 will give me 48 over 4 times 16 will be 64 plus 1/64. Then this is x plus 1/8 all squared. Now the next thing, they have a common denominator, so I can add their numerator. 48 plus 1 will give me 49/64. Now this is x plus 1/8 all squared. Now I want to find the value of x, so I want to get rid of this square, so I need to find the root of both sides. If I do that, I'm going to have x plus 1/8 equal, this square will cancel the root. So the square root of 49 is 7, and the square root of 64 is 8. So this will be plus or minus 7/8. So what I need to do in this case, I'm going to subtract both sides by 1/8. Then I have x equal this. So you can see I have plus or minus 7/8 minus 1/8. What that means is that plus 7/8 minus 1/8, or minus 7/8 minus 1/8. This plus or minus belongs to 7/8. So in this case, they have a common denominator. I'm going to subtract 7 minus 1 will be 6, so I have 6/8. Or on the other side, minus 1 minus 7 minus 1 will give me minus 8/8. So therefore, my x value will be 6/8, which is 3/4, or x value will be minus 8 divided by 8, which will give me minus 1. So that's how to solve that. Thanks for watching my video. You can always subscribe on OG's Wealth of Math. Share your views, share my link. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.